representing Forward Force Pro Team is SpazyMazy.
SpazyMazy. He's been talking a big game.
He has.
Dutchman.
Danish.
The Dane coming over. They both start with D.
Yes.
Coming over
quite
here.
near each other geographically.
Yes, taking out tournament slots, and
he himself has been saying things like that.
Yeah, he himself has been very much saying that, and yeah, he is talking a big game about coming home first. But the man who doesn't have to talk a big game because he did it last time is the red Protoss player, the last Protoss hope, the last hope of Aya from FM Esports. It is Boombox.
Hell yeah. There's only one FM player here.
Yes.
He's the only one.
Do you know who it is?
It's Boombox.
Oh my god. Wait, he's in this game?
My god, so he is.
Wow.
Yeah. Used to have players such as Orc. But he's not here.
He's not here. He was at last LAN. But
why he's not here.
Boombox still took him out.
Yes. Off doing his thing.
Off.
Whatever that is.
Yes.
And yeah, Boombox going for the most normal of normal openings.
Yes.
Got the gateway, got the gas. As you said, not an improviser, not a man who improvises. SpazyMazy, again, being pretty normal. Pool, presumably this is going down for a hatchery, not proxying it, no nothing. Proxy hatch, whilst irritating and whilst it does throw builds off, is fairly known. It's a situation that Boombox would have found himself in before, so if the key lies in disruption, then it's not a tactic to go for.
No, absolutely not. Because when, especially in, oh, that's painful.
A little bit costly.
Yeah, a little bit. Probably like 50 or so minerals down the drain there for SpazyMazy. He's not going to make up until the ultra late game, if at all. But I was saying something before that. And, oh yes, especially in this sort of map pool where proxy hatchery is so relatively common. It's definitely the sort of thing Protoss have to prep for if they want to really see some tournament success. Because as much as you can veto maps most of the time, if you find yourself on a best of 7 and oh look, it's Bridgehead, the last map, you haven't played it at all because you thought, you know what, that map's some bull stuff. I don't want to deal with it. And then you know what, it's best of 7. You got to deal with it.
Yeah, you have to play Bridgehead.
You just lose the game.
Yeah,
so
I've never
that can end up
Bridgehead.
Going poorly for you. But SpazyMazy with an earlier pool, well, a pool before hatch, and just have some lings poking in, sees that Nexus timing, and gets out there. Nexus after Cybercore. I get a little bit safe, a little bit more aggressive from Boombox, one or the other or both. Just get that walling up the up the top of the main faster, but obviously your Nexus down the bottom is a little delayed.
Yeah, chasing down that scouting probe from Boombox could have been used to put down proxies, of course, so you've always got to make sure that the probe stays safe, safely covered. But
it's important to make sure a lot of things in life stay safely covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Me neither.
Okay.
Good.
Right.
Warbird coming in for Boombox. No chrono on it, so he's not planning on being like super aggressive. Although, depending on what he actually makes this walling out of, 2 gateways, so he's going to be going up to 3. There is the possibility of like a little bit of 3 gateway pressure, but it's going to be tough to pull off without a probe out on the map, and it's going to be tough to get a probe out on the map without clearing out these lings.
Precisely. That is why I like players who, and he's doing it right now, sending that mothership core out to chase away the outer zerglings. But he's not just sending it far out. I'm looking at it. I've got the color intensity up high. I love the kind of glow that surrounds the mothership core.
It's pretty cool. Like, do you remember old Gameheart and the glowing banelings?
Yes.
Light bulb banelings. I actually like those. I miss those.
I liked those as well. They were noticeable.
Yeah, that they were. But alas, alack.
Yeah, it doesn't do that anymore now that this is like game official.
Yes, official things. But it was in fairness perhaps a little silly, but I still like banelings are so beautiful anyway. Glowing, just making them more noticeable, making them more in your face as they blow up your face. Oh, nothing like baneling busting all over a tight Protoss wall.
Wow.
Oh, speaking of which, Ben, what are your thoughts on this Destructor Debris Zealot pylon wall in Iron Baneling busts?
It would all go to pieces, but at the same time, anything that has a Zealot in the walling goes to pieces in the face of a Baneling bust.
True.
Because Zealots are the soft bit usually. But at the same time, Other than that, I don't mind it that much. Like, you have to make do with what you can get now. The tradition is for like slightly wider ramps, and it just looks like Boombox is going for a sentry expand.
Yeah,
Like, he's
pretty
expanding.
normal.
He's got sentries. Normal.
Absolutely.
Quite fast. Now, I saw Parting do an absolutely amazing build on.
Of course, he's parting.
Yeah, on what was it? That kind of force ball map a while back. The one that had in base was great.
Oh, the really, really big one.
Yeah, quite big.
Oh, it was like the first in-base map, was it?
No.
No, okay.
No.
Oh, Nimbus?
Yeah, it was Nimbus. And on Nimbus, he went Nexus first into a really quick, like 6-minute expansion. Then he did a 10-minute timing attack with just Gateway. And it wasn't all in by any stretch, but it just killed a zone. It just ended like a top-level Korean zone.
Wow. Sounds pretty strong. But I mean, it was a build come out parting. They usually do end up being pretty terrifying. Right now, though, Boombox is having to be a little bit more worried about being killed than killing his opponent, as some Ling Roach is on his way to make his life a little more difficult. Boombox with a bunch of sentries, going to be looking at force fielding this off and holding it. But he'll only be able to do that once or twice, and if SpazyMazy comes in from a bunch of different angles, it's going to be tough. As he is trying to do. Yep, there's two force fields. Stop that, but you know what? That means the natural base is relatively undefended. The Monster Core, I think, is going to have to photon overcharge at the natural as well if he wants to hold this off, but a couple of good force fields do stop it. Oh, the whole position on that probe, just buying the extra couple of seconds, and the third base currently looking fine. The natural base also looking pretty okay. So far, Boombox is holding this off very nicely.
Indeed, he is. He has this little strike force out towards the side of the third command center. Should that photon overcharge at any point run out, but it looks like the attacking force at the front has run out of juice, and now he will struggle, I think, to push into the Nexus even when the overcharge is gone, because the forces are just not there. The forces are there, sorry.
Yeah.
The forces are ready to defend.
And he doesn't have the distracting force to kind of threaten that natural ramp that he had before.
If you look across the map, though, I think he knows this. SpazyMazy's taking a fourth base at about the 10-minute mark, nice and early, because he knows that the third base of Protoss is not going to be pressurable. It's not something you can really attack when they have all their defenses there and they have that many sentries. As you were saying the other day, the current probably meta composition is a lot of Blink Stalkers with some sentries and maybe a couple of extra units mixed in, and it's just so strong. It's so good.
It is pretty nice. Whoa. Okay.
And yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at maybe getting out of Boombox. We've seen him use it yesterday with a couple of Immortals thrown into great effect. Adding in 2 Stargates now, of course, just to put a bit of extra, probably maybe Phoenix support to deal with the Spire that's coming down, and then transitioning into more damaging units later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Hallucinated Phoenix Scout spotted that Spire nice and early on, despite a kind of like slightly hidden position by SpazyMazy. Like, normally you just build everything behind the mineral line, but Boombox has had like a hallucinated Phoenix all the time, basically. There's just been ones checking where the army is, checking around SpazyMazy's base. He's on top of what's happening, and the double Stargate Phoenix production is going to deal very nicely. Even with 19 Mutas in the first wave, Boombox already has a bunch of Stalkers, +2 and Blink on the way, and he'll have about probably only 2 Phoenixes when they arrive, but 2 more on the way pretty shortly after that.
Yeah, there are going to be a fair few Phoenixes. Of course, that has been seen by SpazyMazy's Overseer. There are Stalkers. Blink is not yet complete, so that does leave the Mutalisks with something of a timing window in which to attack, and they're going to drift down towards the third base, but the majority of the army is there, so I have to see whether they're able to actually put any pressure on the first base. Forcefield's going down much too late, but the Stalkers are denying as much surface area to the Lings as possible. Then an attack from the Mutas, Guardian Shield pops to make sure that the damage is minimised, but I actually think that this force looks like it can crush through. The Phoenix is going to have to battle against the Mutalisks and micro as hard as they can, and they are doing their best.
Yeah, the 4 Phoenixes coming to the fray do force those Mutalisks away a little bit, but he picked up a good few sentries there. Blink now approaching completion, the photon overcharge being used, driving those Mutas away as the Phoenixes chase them down, making sure they get out of the base, but +2 and Blink just a few short seconds away. Over the other side of the map, a hallucinated Phoenix confirms the upgrade from the Spire, a bit more of a commitment to Mutalisks, and that prompts a response from Boombox of that Fleet Beacon, the extra range on those Phoenixes, really helping out. A little Blink forwards, picks off a Muta or 2, and these corruptors taking fire, and the engagement comes towards. Boombox is force fielding off those links, making sure I can deal with the muters before he has to deal with the ground army, but the stalkers haven't blinked back behind that roach link force. However, in the sky, the muter count is seriously dwindling. Boombox has a ton of phoenixes now, and he's going to clean up all of these air units. The blink forwards as well.
Absolutely.
Drives away the last of this ground force from SpazyMazy, and he's got to transition into Ling Hydra. There are 4 corruptors on the way, but I don't really feel like they're going to do that much. There's not. The only thing they can do is shoot at these phoenixes, and there's enough phoenixes now. 2 more on the way, and 9 already out. 11
Phoenix
phoenixes
range on the way too.
Anion pulse crystals. I mean, they're just going to destroy even corruptors.
Quite possibly. Hydra's being added into the mix, although currently not that many. I actually feel that with so few there, those Phoenixes could have engaged, killed those off, killed off the Queen. Boombox might recognise that as well, but perhaps he just doesn't want to get pinned down. No, he doesn't care. He's going straight for those Hydras. Actually, possibly a mistake with the Corruptor Reinforcement now out. If he'd gone right at the start, maybe he would have got away with it. But those Phoenixes are going to drift back off across the map. Still 6 remaining, adding in more all the time. So this air composition with a mix of ground is going to be very strong.
Yeah, up to 9 phoenixes now. It looks like that's where he's going to stop for a little while with pulse crystals just finishing now. Adding in Temporal Archives for the storm, going to be a great addition. Just 1 or 2 storms to kill Hydralisks. Certainly 1 softens them up a lot. Corruptors moving on in with 2 Mutalisks to actually do some damage on the ground. Oh, look, no Mutalisks anymore. Goodbye. I think a bit of a mish-hotkeyed Phoenix gets taken out there. SpazyMazy moves in towards a potential 4th base with a bunch of lings, but I think this is more a setup for a possible run by into the 3rd than anything else. The 4th base from Boombox is in the forward position, a bit aggressive here, but I think he's in a good sort of spot to take that aggressive base.
The forward base, you mean?
Yes.
The forward base, yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Like with Blink Stalkers, which are quite mobile, with Phoenixes, which are one of the most mobile units in the game, indeed, it's a really good position to be at because the Stalkers can jump easily between most of the bases on the map.
Yeah, there's the counterattack. A bunch of links running in, but wow, the wall in from SpazyMazy is good. But too many links just flood in. He has to evacuate the 3rd base and move some units down to deal with it. As SpazyMazy moves in with a little Roach Hydra force towards that 4th, he's going to try and focus it down, but he can't afford to throw away all his army doing that. Gets a lot of shields on that Nexus, but loses a few units for it.
Yes, shields not worth that much, of course. They just come back. They just regenerate.
They regenerate even faster if you follow them. And Boombox moving on forward. He's got a ton of Blink Stalkers, Phoenixes to deal with the Mutalisks, and apparently the Hydralisks as well. 1 or 2 sentries in this force, 3 technically, but only 1 with any real energy. Some muters in the main. I'm really kind of surprised that SpazyMazy has continued committing this hard to muters when Boombox has proven so good in dealing with them. Just Phoenix production, and as soon as the Phoenixes arrive, it's going to be kind of curtains for the muters. With range, these Phoenixes can actually even kite corruptors all day.
Yeah, in a very technical sense, you are correct, but in a more real sense, that's extremely hard to do.
Yes, it is. 1 Mutalisk can't do much of this mineral line. The Lings even, nice cannon positioning, aren't going to get too much done. Hydras are a different match entirely though, as the Lings distract those Zealots. The Hydras pick away at everything, but having cleaned up everything, oh man, a bunch of mana nexus from Boombox. I'm not even sure if SpazyMazy can see these. He sees 1 of the mana nexus, but across the map, Boombox is getting aggressive with his Blink Stalkers. Looks like he wants to back off for a little bit. He has killed off 19 drones after a drone pull. A few more going down now, but the 4th base has actually gone down. SpazyMazy has a fair amount of Hydras over here, so Boombox, with the max out, is actually going to have to send something back to defend this. Unless
kill one of those mana nexuses. That's 400 minerals he won't see again in a hurry.
But when you're saying 1 of the mana nexuses,
yeah, it's true. There are 5. 4 inside the base mine, so 30, and that's why, because Boombox knew that he could build 5 nexuses that he wasn't going to use ever, and he could still win.
Yeah, he was really quite dominant in that game.
Yeah, really looked very good.
One of Boombox's best, or one of his best talents really is dealing with the mute switch.
Yeah,
and he really showed it that game. He almost, I have to say, just basing it off this game and a previous game against, I think, AC, because I think that's the only thing we've seen. Cactus and that map. I feel like he's almost a little too twitchy about the Mutas transition, because in the game against AC, he opened, if I remember correctly, he opened Stargate, and then there were 1 or 2 Mutas that came out, and after seeing a small cloud of Phoenixes, he just stopped Muta production, did AC. And then when Boombox was worried that another Muta transition might be incoming, started crawling out Phoenixes and got up to 5 or 6 before realising there actually weren't any Mutas coming on the way.
You say a little bit too twitchy, but as a Protoss
you do
player,
have to.
I would say exactly as twitchy as required regarding the Muta transition.
You have to be. Yeah, it's difficult to know it's coming, and you have to be prepared.
Yeah,
before
if you get
it
that
comes.
wrong, you basically fail. Like, you have 100 seconds to see that spire and 33 seconds to let Mutas build. And if you don't have Stargates and be building Phoenixes at least some point during that process, and it helps if it's towards the front end, then you basically lose the game. If they do a big transition, it's over.
Yeah,
you just can't win.
It was a big old Muta swell coming in, but
it's one of my least favourite things about Zerg.
It's one of my most favourite things about Zerg.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Bloody Zerg.
Yes, indeed. But we're all in the lobby in Cactus Valley for game number 2. So just as soon as we get the ready up from Boombox, we'll get underway. And yeah, I think SpazyMazy tried a little Roach Ling attack as well, and that didn't go so well. In fact, it really didn't do much economic damage to Boombox at all. It didn't seem to slow him down or set him off his stride. And those small attacks can actually really damage the Zerg economy with how kind of exponential it is. You use the minerals that your drones mine to build more drones, and then those drones mine more drones. So, well, minerals that become drones. It just builds upon itself and builds upon itself and builds upon itself. And if you miss just 1 or 2 of those steps, or delay them, then it all gets set back so far, which ends up being a lot of a problem. But Cactus Valley could turn out quite differently. If we see just cross positions and SpazyMazy just go really greedy and take the macro game without being too punished by Boombox, maybe it'll turn out a bit differently.
Maybe, but I feel like Spazy may have decided too early that he could beat Boombox. I don't know.
Possibly.
I want to see how he goes.
Yeah, it will be interesting. And here we go. Cactus Valley is the map, 2 is the number of the game, and 1 is the score of this blue Protoss player up in the top left-hand corner. He's the FM Esports representative. The previous Epic Land champion is Boombox.
And his opponent in the bottom right, in the teal trunks representing Forge Force Pro, he's their current ace in the hole. It's SpazyMazy.
Yes, indeed. He talks a big game but lost. Map, he couldn't back it up with the results. We'll see whether it changes things up in Cactus Valley. We know Gamer Richie predicted a 2-1 here. And SpazyMazy, I guess, would have to agree with that now if he wouldn't have already predicted a 2-0. Either way, the positions I think are good for SpazyMazy. Cross positions is going to firstly force Boombox to actually travel through this very wide open central area, ideal for huge surrounds, for forcing out large numbers of force fields, and enable a bit more easier access to that 4th base for SpazyMazy as well, without having to expand towards his opponent and put his base at risk of just not so much a parade push, but just the slightly faster reinforcement rate that comes with the robo units mainly. If we see any,
what we need to get like that force field forcing out in the middle of the map, we'd have to see SpazyMazy take control of the centre of the map, and with that in mind, what we probably want to see is some kind of queen heavy opening used for early creep, getting that control, getting the wide overlord spread, and generally just taking the map as best as possible. It's very difficult to actually do because then Protoss can warp in your base with warp prisms, and that tends to cause you to force to go back, at which point they try and take the centre of the map, which is what Swarm Host was so good for holding before the change. But on the other hand, was that really acceptable in itself? The fact that for basically no investment, they can be held with the locusts. It is a very complex and intricate dynamic that we're still learning about how the change of the Swarm Host is affected.
Basically no investment. Swarm Hosts aren't exactly cheap.
Yeah, but also they don't require a lot of effort.
Just saying.
It's not like
there
are many different types of resource, and one of them is mind.
Well, I don't see any any mind income from either of these two players.
Oh, really? Because it's the minerals. They're mine.
I realised what was going to happen as I was saying it. Don't headbutt me. SpazyMazy getting up to his 3 bases pretty quickly. He did go pool first, but he's following that up with a fast third CC as his lings move in towards the natural Boombox. And yeah, they're going to chip away at this pylon. Nah, they're not going to force out cancel. The mothership core's already out. Or are they? You know what, maybe he should have cancelled it. Whoa. Nah, it's fine.
It's actually
Like 3 hits away.
terrifyingly close, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that mothership core had been a little bit less swift than its arrival.
True. If SpazyMazy...
And there it doesn't.
2 hits away. If SpazyMazy had sent all 4 of his lings straight to Boombox's base, he would have killed a pylon. As it is, he's actually just wasted 100 minerals.
Yes,
more so,
minerals.
Yeah, more so than the 100 minerals and 2 lava that went into those 4 lings is the map control they afford to
Yes.
SpazyMazy. Now SpazyMazy is either going to have to sacrifice the same amount again, and bear in mind what I said going into this about drones or things that aren't drones being not drones,
Yep.
and yeah, that's having that knock-on effect slowing down your economy. Or he has to just say, well, you know what, Boombox, I'm going to allow you to get up a proxy pylon any way you want. I'm not going to actually stop you because I can't. I have to make too much investment. As it is, SpazyMazy elects to build a couple extra lings and see what he can do with them. I think he's going to send them across the map. I think he's going to go for this pylon again.
I like that. I think that it's an overcommitment and it's very silly, but I think it suits the character of this tournament.
I think Boombox should chrono the pylon to regen its shields
I knew
faster.
you were going to say that.
Of course I was going to say that.
Because it was stupid.
As it is, these lings are actually, I think, going to be a worthwhile investment, if not just for the fact that they're going to see the Stargate at the front and see the Oracle coming out of it.
Yes, I like the Stargate at the front.
SpazyMazy.
I think it carries with it intimidation factor, and even if the Oracle does nothing directly, you can use it for forcing out spores, which is fewer drones. You can use it for spending a bit of money on the spores, which is, again, fewer drones in its way. And also you can keep it out if possible and use it for vision, use it for the threat of harassment at new bases, and generally being as annoying as possible.
Yeah, absolutely, as per yourself.
Basically the Oracle in a nutshell. Second Oracle going to be following it out as well.
Oh, that is interesting. Not something we usually see against Zerg, but could end up doing something interesting. I think we're going to see a third Oracle, because Boombox is adding on 5 gateways. I think we're going to see the Stargates, like Oracle gateway pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's going to be not just pressure. We're going to have 6 gateways. It's practically an all-in at this point.
Yeah.
With that kind of Oracle pressure. You've got huge DPS. And we saw Boombox use a build just like this yesterday, I think.
Yes, we did. I can't remember what map it was on.
No, nor can I.
No, I do remember. It was on... No, I don't remember.
It wasn't this one.
It wasn't this one.
Losing one of those Oracles to the Queens, though, pretty unfortunate.
Ooh,
That's
that
gonna
actually
cut
really
into
does
DPS,
sting.
yeah.
That is going to counter DPS, as you say. But he did manage to get, I think, 4 drones with it, 5 kills on the Oracle, so maybe he picked up a Ling or something, or possibly a Queen.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
What's actually been lost? Yeah, it must have been a Ling and a couple of drones. But as it is, SpazyMazy is actually going to be putting on the pressure himself.
Yes.
He should wait a while. Just sending in 3 lings, just see what he can do.
Can't get in though, that pylon wall off is too strong.
That is an important scout though. Seeing the pylon wall off, he goes, well, I know what you're doing some kind of regression. Goes back home. Is he going to scout around for the pylon? He's not. There's already a proxy pylon up for Boombox, a second closer proxia pylon on the way, and with a photon cannon coming up for Boombox's wall as well. I think it's a great decision. If he had that pylon there as the weak spot that it is in his wall, then a counterattack could end the game SpazyMazy, but as it is, he's just going to have to put everything he has into holding here.
Here it comes.
The Queens are good. We'll see that they're good enough. Some decent force fields. These Oracles are going to melt away Lings.
Well, yeah, that's what they're there for. They're going to try and cut away at them as best as possible. Oracle's killing off a Queen, but losing one of their number in their wake. They're so good at killing off Lings as well, Oracles, because they're light and they get bonus damage. But they seem to currently be targeting down Roaches, and there's a follow-up warp in a few more Stalkers being added, a few more Zealots being walked in to fight the Queens, and those being micro-bagged by SpazyMazy. But in general, I don't think this fight has gone Boombox's way. He went for the attack, but his Stalkers have largely been picked off by the defensive Roaches just because of the vastly superior numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. A bunch of Speedlings as well now, streaming across the map. One Oracle remains on a tiny sliver of health. One Queen on a little bit away from death as well. But as SpazyMazy comes in, reinforcement rate for Boombox. Skylight Rockets, when he's actually near a pylon, he can warp in at.
Yes.
And yeah, SpazyMazy actually spent, interestingly, a bunch of Roaches just being kited back by Stalkers all the way across the map, which meant that Boombox just didn't have those Stalkers at the fight, and even if they had managed to pick off all the Roaches, they would have been about here by the time they did it, and would have had to walk all the way back into the fight. So really nicely held there. The Oracle comes in again, but actually is going to die to Queens. No, it's not. Just take a bit of damage and get on out, but still, that Oracle really won't be able to do too much more. SpazyMazy is pumping out Lings and Roaches and Roach Speed. Boombox does have +2 and Blink on the way, as well as he's making designs towards the third base, but I don't know how much he's going to be able to hold on to it with SpazyMazy's force.
I don't know, I think he'll be okay, if only because he hasn't actually unwalled his own base. One of the advantages of Stargate Wargate units is you really don't have to make that much in the way of internal defense. So that base is just basically like an internal unit in and of itself at this point, without any requirement to be able to access the outside. Although when he does get the third base, maybe he'll want to be saturating that.
He might do.
It would save a lot of time if he could saturate from 3 bases rather than just 1.
Yes. Boombox has resumed probe production and starting to oversaturate bases. So he is going to be making designs towards the third base, most likely, unless he's being extremely deceptive. This one Ling almost able to kill off a pylon. What is that all about? Ling's only 25 minerals, pylons are 100. They should clearly be Lings.
It's true.
Did you know there was a glitch on the beta until recently, where with the Mothership, not Mothership Core, you could cast Photon Overcharge on pylons? Me neither. I didn't know until they patched it.
That is rather strange.
It is a bit. But either way, SpazyMazy with a Ling Hydra force going to be matching up a lot better than the Roach Hydra against sort of general Stalker, Sentry, Deathball approach that's favouring these days. But 1 or 2 Zealots being added in is going to really help out, especially with how late SpazyMazy's upgrades are.
Absolutely.
With +1 on these Zealots, they're going to be slicing and
+2 in just a moment.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter in terms of Zealots versus
No,
Lings.
it doesn't, but it's nice.
It is. 2 is bigger.
2 is
better.
a more
this is a nice little concave. Forces out a few force fields from Boombox, and he only has a few to spare.
Yeah.
Now with 2 sentries, no energy. 1 more sentry has 2 force fields, nearly 3, but still not too many. Breaking down these destructive rocks, I've not actually seen them used much.
No, we haven't really seen them used much at all in this tournament. People going for the destructible rock path. I quite like it because it provides a choke in which to fight. So if you can fight within the choke point, then it naturally will mean that Lings can get a much lesser surface area. But as it stands, pushing down the ramp.
He can't go down that ramp.
Those Zealots with their slower move speed getting stuck inside the ball, so that's really not what you want. But I guess as the Stalkers blink back, it will allow access for those. There we go. Stalker blink back. Zealot access, that's how it works. Few more force fields come out, and here's the engagement. SpazyMazy rushing in from all sides. I think Boombox, with his positioning on the ramp, might be able to keep his Stalkers alive for just long enough to deploy the damage, but he may end up having to run away and fight this a bit better another day, having lost all of his forces that aren't Stalkers so far already. Yeah,
all the Lings are down for SpazyMazy, and they were quite a lot of the DPS. If you can take out the Roaches, the Stalkers fight pretty well against Hydras. A reinforcement round of Stalkers coming in, and with +2, they do deal with the Hydras very well. A lot of Queens stepping a bit forwards off creep, maybe a little overconfident by SpazyMazy. 32 Lings on the way though, but he's going to have very little in the way of Hydra DPS to back that up.
There's the aggressive blink. I think Boombox smells blood. He's killed off almost all of the army of his opponent. Just a few very good anti-Stalker units left, admittedly. You're going to be fighting it with low health Stalkers against Lings and Hydras, not where you want to be. And Boombox now retreating, getting a few extra Queen kills though for his trouble.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. +2 Stalkers do take 1 fewer hit to kill Lings than they normally do, and that's going to help them out a little bit.
It's true.
It's true. I don't know what they go down from to 2, but I think it's like 4 to 3. 5 to 4? Okay. Nah, I can't wait. But either way, yeah, Boombox blinking back with those lanes, a couple, or with the stalkers from the lanes, a bunch of drones being pulled off the line for SpazyMazy and all going down, all falling before the blink stalkers of Boombox. He promised us blink before this game, and boy has he delivered.
Oh yes.
He has delivered blink straight through SpazyMazy's mailbox. And SpazyMazy did not order blink.
Did not need to sign for it, it's just turned up. He's left it with the neighbour just in case Spazy wasn't in, but Spazy was hiding, and the neighbour's come around now, he's knocked on the door. You have to open that door. The door is going.
The boys! The boys! The boys!
Boombox has brought the boys, the probe boys going, surely you've made some mistake. We don't fight. We never fight, we just die. But here they are, joining in the combat as best they can, getting involved, being absolutely massacred by roaches and hydras alike. This is why you don't bring probes to the fight. They do absolutely nothing. GG is called, and Boombox, is that the series?
That is the series, 2-0. Gamer Richie, he's seeing some tournament success, but his predictive life is...
limited.
Yeah, limited. Not what it perhaps once was. So... SpazyMazy, for all his big talk, couldn't quite bring it against Boombox. Boombox continuing his run. Has he dropped a map yet this tournament?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Did he drop one last time either?
I actually don't know at all. Like we didn't see him for the finals last tournament. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I thought that he didn't drop one last time, but yeah. Boombox advancing over so far, advancing over
he's dropped Magico and Sluggy down to the lower
now
bracket.
SpazyMazy, and he's in the final where he'll face off against the winner of Kladdeheiser versus who was it?
Kladdeheiser versus Figaro is going to be the other contestant, the other participant in that upper bracket final. I don't know who's actually got the upper hand in that. Is it Z?
Because we've switched between the brackets so much, I really don't know who has done what. So
yeah, I don't know how Figaro versus Kladdeheiser is going along. We're going to try and get an update on that from interviewer when he comes back with Boombox. Indeed. SpazyMazy is down but not out, of course. He falls down to the lower bracket to face off against Crosis, I believe. Yes, he's going to be facing off against Crosis in another PVZ. And he's got basically just Zerg. Sluggy, I think, is the only Terran left in the tournament. Oh, there's Gamer Richie as well, of course. Gamer Richie against Sluggy as well. Something we might jump into
in just a moment.
If
it hasn't started already.
Yeah. We've got Crosis versus the winner of AC and Wardy, and Sluggy versus the winner of Gamer Richie and Bazooka. No, hang on. Didn't we already do Gamer Richie versus Bazooka?
Yes.
Yes, Gamer Richie won that. Gamer Richie may already be playing Sluggy.
Yes.
He is away at the minute though, so we'll find out. We'll get a game for you. Either way, it looks like our wonderful interviewer FaZe is ready with Boombox, so we'll throw over to him to find out our last remaining Protoss players' thoughts on that series.
One word: blink. Just blink. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, like. How much do you ever make on probes?
About 10. I overmake probes just because I'm playing really sloppy today. So, for reasons unspecified. Yesterday.
Well, congratulations! You've managed to take out like one of the giants of the tournament. Like people have been raving about Spazy, talking about seriously Trigonal. Just send me that. Can you not? Wow. BM, so BM. Alright, and congratulations, you've moved on to, I believe it's the finals of the upper bracket. Spazy will now drop down to the lower bracket, fight his way up between I believe you have AC next? Yeah. You play AC or?
No, I beat AC. He
plays
SpazyMazy now.
Yeah, alright, and AC plays Space now. And I believe Gamer Richie plays Sluggy. And I'm like, what? Do you have any predictions for those games?
I think after that game against Spazy, AC will beat him because it was pretty tilting, holding an all-in and then losing to +2 blink and 2 base. Well, I tilted. And then I think Richie will beat Sluggy in the 2v2.
Yeah, like Left said that he agrees with all your predictions, and Left, he says that he must feel great getting validation from Left. All right, and how does it feel to be like the last protest in the tournament? Like, are you gonna keep that flame? Are you gonna hope to keep that flame alive, or are you just gonna like, or are you just gonna like just not bother, like not be bothered at all, like pretty much like always?
I'm kind of sad because I really hate PvZ. I think it's so boring compared to like PvP, PvT. So just meeting loads of Zergs, which probably I play as Zerg in the upper bracket final now, and then possibly one if I go through again or lose. So it's kind of a bit boring.
Yeah, I mean, like, is there any guys? Is there any T's left in the upper bracket? No, it's just pure Z now. I feel so sorry for you, because like you said, you find it boring, and like down in the lower bracket, it's now Z. I believe, is there any Protosses left in the lower bracket? No Protoss left. Absolute last Protoss in the tournament. Congratulations, I guess. It's good for you, but not good for your race. And it's just like there's two. Is there two Terrans? Just two Terrans, Sluggy and Richie, who will fight it out, I believe. And like yeah, like hopefully you will maybe fight come up against the Terran. But at the moment, it's just looking like mostly Z for the tournament. So are you just gonna end up just prepping for Z, or are you just gonna end up just like doing a little bit of T here and there?
I'm just gonna practice Blink because that's the only thing I make in every matchup. It's good. Blink good unit.
Blink good unit, of course. You know, going mass Blink Stalk against Sluggy, I believe it was. Was it Sluggy? I believe he did like go like Blink Stalker Sentry.
Yeah.
Against Sluggy in group stages. Well, congratulations! You're in the final. Is it the finals of the winners bracket? You will. You have one more game to. One more game to play. It's Fagara versus Clarita up. Dave and Fagara coming up next. Like, any predictions for that?
I have no idea about ZVZ, so I'm just gonna say they're both gonna win.
Like, how many? Like, it's gonna end up with roaches versus roaches. It's just gonna.
Well, they're
like,
both gonna lose because it's gonna be roaches.
The chat would like an update on your latest hairstyle.
Wait, what?
The Twitch chat would like an update on your latest hairstyle.
Well, my hair's different now because I got a cut about a few weeks ago. So it's been a good change. Went from long hair to short.
Does it get in your eyes while you play?
Yeah, I could do. Could do.
I can't believe we're analysing hair. All right, and I'm gonna leave you to get back to your PC and prepare for. Is there any questions from the casters before we go? I think they said good luck in the final and the final. All right, and thanks for the interview. Go back to your PC, start prepping. Yeah, Croesus in the background giving away. I couldn't believe that. I saw him in the corner of my eye.